Papa Squat, coming at ya. Hopefully nobody's really annoyed by this. I heard about this rap bot AI rapper last week and was thinking about reacting to it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. So FN Meka is a virtual rapper, and last week landed a deal with Capitol Records, and I think might have then been dropped by Capitol Records. I don't really care about any of that. I mostly just wanted to hear a song by them, and talk about some stuff. The AI rapper originally gained notoriety on TikTok and Instagram last year when the music industry was shaken up. Was shaken up. What? Completely crappy writing. So he signed a significant deal with Capitol Records and dropped his first single through the label. Meka has a grand following, what? On TikTok, but the rest of the music industry is only now becoming aware of the rapper. Capitol Records and virtual rapper sign. Let's see, in an interview with MBW in 2021, Anthony, who is Anthony Martini and Brandon Lee, co-founders of the virtual label Factory New. They must be the ones who are the minds behind the AI robot rapper. So they say FN Meka is technically voiced by a human. However, as you'll discover here, everything else about him is based on AI, from his lyrics to the chords and the rhythms that underpin the music. So I actually find this super, super interesting because I've also been really getting into artificially intelligent generated artwork, and I find it useful as inspiration. I absolutely admit it's good, and I'm a role-playing game guy, tabletop gaming guy. I do that also in my free time, either running or playing D&D or writing books for it, or any sort of game, role-playing game and war games, things like that. But it is to the point with the AI artwork that you could absolutely use it in a product, and it might not be exactly what you want because you can't tell the artist change this specific thing to be this, but you can get really incredible inspirational pieces, and you could turn it over to an artist to say, this is sort of what I want. I've done that exact thing to generate some ideas for stickers or shirts and things like that for Papa Squat, and I may eventually have some stuff made from it, and some of it will probably be based off some of those ideas that I just entered in as words, and it generated something, right? And the results are really interesting, but it's not human-made. And there's an interesting thing in art, and I've always thought this is interesting. You will hear people often say that the intent doesn't matter, and that is absolute garbage in my opinion. Intent always matters. What the artist was trying to do when they came up with something, whether it's a written piece, a drawing, a painting, piece of music, anything. And I would put coding into that too. So coding on a computer is a creative endeavor. It just is very different and much more mathematical and really precise than a lot of other artwork needs to be, because code tends to be pretty sprawling and can be very confusing. I certainly am not a coder. So there is intention behind this, but it's one step too far removed for me to consider it art created by a human. Now, if the person who's doing the rapping here is an actual person rapping, then they're giving a performance, but the motivation behind the words themselves, why they were written, how they were created, and the music itself, there's not any feeling behind that. There's no motivation to say, I'm going to write a love song about this specific person or these three people that I have had relationships with and they've all had an impact on me, because the computer has not had that relationship. It is just taking what it knows about music and the lyrics that get used in music and combining them in ways to hopefully create something new and different and interesting. But for me, it's one step too far removed for this to be considered art created by a computer, or I should say, art created by a human, because there's a computer halfway in between the programming and the end result of what the music is. I hope that's all making sense. I'm super curious to check this out, and we are going to dive in here to the song called Fuck the Media. This came out just last week, again on the 23rd. I think the last song just came out on the 23rd, or one of them. This is a diss song, not a diss track, but a diss song, and it's by FN Meka. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Let's give it a listen.
What'd he say? Here we go again. Another nigga talking on the fucking internet. But he big mad cause his bitch gave me neck. Worked all night, let the shit both flex. Nigga, why you mad? Go and get yourself a check. Better play it cool and I put that on the set. Tired of you peons always talking online. We can bang it out, Nick Cannon drum line. Last of a dying breed, I'm one of a kind. Chilling with the AIs in the Scooby van. Only zero.
So you hear things like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure those are 808s for the drum beats, right, that they have in here. The lyrics are, I couldn't find a copy of them, but they definitely sound like what a rap song would sound like. So I think it's appropriate to call it a rap song. But just knowing that there's not a human brain behind it really makes it land flatly for me, and that's probably a bias that I need to get over. We already have bands like Gorillaz, which have shown us that we are capable of thinking of animated creatures, beings, people, as actual people. We talk about them as if they are real. Same thing, Mickey Mouse, we talk about as if he is a real person. He's not. He's a drawing, and no matter how he appears in any medium, any media, he is a drawing. He is some kind of creation, but we refer to it as a him. He has a personality, and it's kind of crazy that that's true. But anytime you see Mickey Mouse, he has been created by a person to be doing what he's doing, to say the words he's saying, etc., etc. In this case, it's, again, a step further removed than that, because the ability to generate these words was programmed, but the words themselves were chosen by the program. And again, that's just a kind of a step too far. And even if this song sounds good, and it does sound kind of good, I think it sounds derivative, but that's because it would have to sound derivative. Because it pulls from everything else that's out there. And again, I don't know what sort of terms they use to pull together this song, if they wanted to have a particular style of rap, or if they just said, hey, go make something, and this is what came back. I don't know if they program in the name of the song and then it comes up with what this is, or I have no idea. But this is not a person making this song, and because of that, it makes me go, okay.
Oh, but I'm feeling like a man. Internet gigs suggest something I can stand. Nigga too hot, you gon' need more than a fan. No Birdman, for respect I demand. Rappers too broke, so I had to cut the lamb. Shoes on my feet, yeah, it cost more than $1 grand. Acting how I blew, like I ain't get y'all a plan. Wrote a whole book, but I wrote y'all on the stand. You gon' get the yapping like you was my right hand. I'ma hop out, pop out, I'ma live it up in a Roxy with a block out. Another nigga talking on the fucking internet. But he big mad cause his bitch gave me neck. Worked all night, let the shit both flex. Nigga, why you mad? Go and get yourself a check. Better play it cool and I put that on the set. Tired of you peons always talking online. We can bang it out, Nick Cannon drum line. Last of a dying breed, I'm one of a kind. Ain't a killer, but don't push me. It can get hate. could get ugly. Think they really hate me cause all the girls love me. They like how he getting hoes and a nigga 3. No John Cena, but these niggas can't see me. Sitting in a fake like this shit really.
I like some of the music. I mean, I think they did a really good job making this, and I do think it sounds good. But again, just the fact that I know it's not a person writing it makes me go, oh yeah, okay, I can see kind of where these influences are coming from and how they came up with this and blah blah. But it does sound good.
Really offend me. I let her back when I fucked her when she met me. They said I'm surprised cause these niggas just a mini me. Got a Big Mac, pretty small fry. Where my mask at? The Balenci's in the closet? Alright, don't ask me what I need it for. Roses are red, Balenciaga blue. Bullets make them hot, just like a kangaroo. Drop the top, now I see the moon. No Capcom, kicking shit right you.
That must be it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't think it's bad. I think it's worth doing. I can absolutely understand why actual real people would be pissed off that a virtual rapper would, not even virtual, an AI rapper creator would get signed to a label when there are however many other rappers out there that could actually, survive with and have a career that this thing doesn't need to have. I understand there are people behind it, they program it, they run the company, but I'm sure they have plenty of money, I assume, coming in from other sources, especially now that they have proven that this sort of thing is possible. And this is one aspect of creating a much larger AI, right? If you could kind of put this into an AI that also has a personality, or a programmed personality, and it's capable of making artwork, it's capable of writing songs, and you add up all those things, and eventually you will get to a virtual human being who is almost as complete a person as we are. So I get it. I get why they do this. I don't know if, other than for the novelty of it, I don't know if I would want to listen to more of their music, other than to see how the technology is progressing and how the style is changing, because it will also reflect, much like other artists do, it will reflect how the rap scene in general is changing as well, to create music based on what they're hearing out in the world. So those artists are, all the other artists are hearing out in the world and what they want to make. Interesting. I'm curious what people think. I'm sure since we do hip-hop music here on the channel, people are somewhat aware of this thing. So I'm curious what people think of it, and I don't know. I think it's worthwhile. I think it's interesting. That's really as far as I can go with it. I'm fascinated by it. The whole AI thing is fascinating. Really super cool. Should we be doing it? Is it going to lead to something like the Terminator? Probably not for a long, long time, but it's entirely possible that something could go catastrophically wrong like that if we get advanced enough, but we ain't there yet. So, Papa Squat, checking out. Please like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you very, very soon. Have a good night.